Hey guys, this is the general reading for Capricorn for April and also May. So I'm so close to the time, I'm just going to put it for April and May of 2020. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, if you have significant Capricorn in your chart, if you are just drawn to this reading, if you're cross-watching like on somebody who's a Capricorn, for more of a complete picture, or if this doesn't resonate with you, check out my other videos I've either already made or will make in the future of all that same stuff I just said. Please understand that energy is fluid. So this could have already happened. It could be happening now. It could happen in the future. Some, none, or all of this may apply. So just take what fits, leave the rest. Don't make it fit if it doesn't fit. I could read this as love. It could be career. I could read this as you. It could be someone else close to you. It could be flip-flopped. So just apply it as necessary. For those of you who inquire about donations, thank you so much for that. The PayPal information is in the description box below. So that means a lot for the reciprocity of energy, or if this video helped you in some way. Also, for services, description box below, please read all of it, including the disclaimer. But if you still have questions, email me. The only services that are not up there yet are my shamanic services. So they will be coming soon, but if you're interested in that, like a shamanic soul retrieval, illumination, destiny retrieval, a look at your shadow contracts, if something's just holding you back, if you know there's some in your energy field that is either imbalanced or you need fixed or added, removed, cords, any of that to address, email me for information on that, but it will be up sometime relatively soon. Also, if you aren't going to donate or you can't do services right now, please also know a way that you can contribute and give thanks, the reciprocity of energy. If this video helps you, just to show love, basically, or for all the time and energy I put into these, know that you liking the video and commenting on the video, because like it takes 2 seconds to do. Even if I can't respond to all of them, I read all of them and I connect to your energy. Even sharing the video would be great. Like, it means everything to me. So just know that's also a way of giving back and showing love back. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell. I put out different types of videos. I have other things in the works. I just have to keep work on and fix. They're already done. I just need to edit them. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Make sure you're subscribed. Notifications. So you get all the videos. Also, we'll be going live soon. I'm working on that, and it'll notify you when that goes. Also, if you've previously subscribed, please check and make sure you're still subscribed, because me and other YouTube readers have been having issues with people being unsubscribed and they did not do it. Okay, so just letting you know. Okay, so Capricorn. I'm just gonna start. I don't really feel to channel the energy at first, just without the cards. There's a lot of confusion here also about not knowing what you're doing with the energy I'm tapping into. There's a little bit of kind of like a hasty trying to figure it out, but on your own. Not a lot of time to explain. Not even a lot of compassion, to be honest with you. And I don't say that in a bad way. I mean mostly in a way of you're really just trying to look, because like when I was describing all that stuff, it was like I was saying it like it is what it is, and I just really didn't have time to explain anything extra, and just trying to figure it out. I don't know, it's a little unsettled, slightly uncomfortable, anxious, aggravated energy. Not mean. It is what it is, though. Getting the job done type of energy, just so you know. Anyways, in the center of your reading, you have the Three of Wands. And what's interesting is that this and what's crossing you, this is the Devil, they're both really dealing with time here. So I don't know if you're waiting on something or if you're feeling pushed all of a sudden, like I'm just trying to zone in on the energy. I do know that with a lot of your reading, there's a lot of shadow stuff here coming up. So in April and or May, you probably will be dealing with a lot of inner stuff. A lot of the unseen, a lot of the things about yourself, inner child stuff, shadow stuff, maybe past memories, past perceptions. It's like you are waiting on something, whether it's like what you want or things to get better or something to come in, something or someone. There is a lot of darkness in these cards that's coming with what you're waiting on. I just get a lot of shadow aspects because even what's crossing you is the Devil. And it's like everyone's just sitting there looking around, like almost looking stunned, but nothing's being said. It's almost like got a vibe of like the elephant in the room type thing. And it's not being discussed or it's not being seen or it needs to come up. Like it's time to come up. And it's time that you address this and face this. There really is no avoiding it anymore, where either you can't or it's just going to be really uncomfortable if you do. And you need to look at this. What's either chaining you, blocking you, just those parts of you. In your foundation, you have the Ace of Swords. So, I mean, even more so, you know, the mountains are like challenges, blocks. You have all this fog, not being able to see. There's so many, there's a lot that you're not seeing. There's a lot that's not clear to you. In the past, though, it was like you have the Nine of Cups, you know, getting what you want, being happy. You have Three of Cups, coming together, cheerful. Then Four of Swords. Maybe there's a rest. Maybe even healing that needs to be done or was being done. And it inspired a creative, happier part of you and started you on some new journey. Like you took the risk. You it almost seemed like this good thing coming in and that made you happy helped you reevaluate and see in certain things and give you enough of a little level of healing that it did inspire a little bit of that inner childlike creativity within inside of you. And then you went in on a new journey and took a risk on something. But you seem now sitting in the crowning position with the Five of Swords. And in this particular Five of Swords, I think these roses in the background were supposed to be a different color. And these, I don't even know what you call them. Guardsmen, soldiers, I have no idea. Can you see it? There. They were painting them to try to hide the fact that they're not the color she wanted them to be. I guess they were supposed to be red. And I think they got caught doing something they shouldn't have been doing, or that wasn't to her liking. And so it looks like they got punished. There's something that I think you caught or saw someone doing, or that they were doing, should I say, that wasn't to your liking, or wasn't to your standards, or maybe they were trying to cover it up. Maybe they were even doing the best, like what they thought was best. But either way, you're not happy with it. It's not to your standards. It's not to your liking. And there was a little bit of maybe exactly this, or maybe, lack of better words, laying down the law, if you will. You might have came in and totally just disarmed them. It doesn't really matter. I think you saw somebody doing something, saying whatever, something that you didn't like. And you just came, you or somebody else came and just was like, no. And just totally either went at them or dethroned them or pulled the carpet right out from under their feet. Like, you're just like, I don't think so. It's caused some turmoil in you too, though, and question you, maybe to cause you to maybe question your loyalty of who you thought was on your side. I mean, they still were on her side. It's just they made a mistake and was trying to cover it up, I guess. Which probably doesn't fare well, honesty-wise, if that's the case. I don't know if I'm getting too much into details here, but it is causing a little bit of mental conflict in your head. It's really making you start to look at and question some things. And I think this other card I'm about to pull is what comes in between or leads to your likely future, which this is an oracle card. And this is really about like detachment, isolation, going basically on your own or getting away from the situation so that you can possibly see things from a different point of view. Because sometimes you can be too close to something or too emotionally involved to where maybe it clouds your judgment or it clouds your perception or your vision or what you see. Especially if your emotions are involved. I think that's one thing that Capricorns are pretty good at. It does suck sometimes for other people, but they're pretty good about separating their emotions from practical. I mean, most earth signs are, but especially Capricorns really are. and they're able a lot of times when they need to pull back and then pull back their emotions so that they can think about things from more of a practical and non-emotional point of view. Which I think in this, I mean, be careful not to go in extreme on that, but I think in this it seems to serve you pretty well. In your likely future, you have the Empress. So this could be or Taurus or Libra. I really feel though that so this is going to be an and or thing because I kind of feel two different things. I think whatever this was that you found out or saw that somebody was doing, I think it might even have caused you to overreact. Maybe. Some of you did not overreact, and because of this, you will have gotten lesson learned or seen things, and you will go into Empress status and remember like who you are. Like you're gonna step into, you know, Empressness, you know what I mean? Like get your crown on right and whatever. Like you're gonna remember your value, go into your creativity, more healed, more, you know, you get it. Others of you, it will have brought something up in you that is in your shadow, maybe even triggered something within you. Like, it may have been really benign or even just a little bit like, but not, maybe not really necessitating this per se. Like, I think she really came in and just effed them up. Really just laid down the law. Because I think that it was bringing up some stuff in you to see. And it could be anything. I mean, it could be fears. It could be codependency. It could be control issues. It could be, maybe it was one of those moments where you normally really are good about being able to pull away and think about things in more of a practical and non-emotional way. But maybe in that moment, you couldn't. Something about it really brought up a fear or a just trigger or like just something really core within inside of you that it just went and you didn't have time. You just reacted mostly. You didn't have time to pull back to think about it first. It was like your own stuff, your own wounds, your own whatever came up. And maybe now in the future, there may be a chance that you might actually go up to this person, situation, whatever, and apologize for, and you could flip-flop this as necessary, but apologize for what was said or what was done. And that doesn't even mean that you were wrong. Like, it could have been something like, I don't regret what I said to you. I regret how I said it to you. Or it could be you're sorry for what you said, or it could be that maybe once you were able to pull back and look at why you were reacting that way, or like put yourself in that person's shoes, you were able to look at that maybe what they were doing, they weren't coming from that bad of a place. Or that, like, I'll give you an example. Say that you, like these people, they were covering up and painting the roses, right? And she could have came in. I know one thing Capricorns also hate is lies, dishonesty, also being called a liar, stuff like that. There's a huge integrity thing with a lot of Capricorns. A lot of people, but you get it. And maybe you instantly saw something that either wasn't a good decision, or you didn't think it was, or there was lies or lack of integrity, or just something about it seemed less than or shady or just not up to par, especially with respect for you or your life or your well-being. And then when you pulled back and you were able to get in your own, like, you know, out of your emotions and more thinking about it, and you saw, hopefully you saw why you reacted that way in the first place. But at the very least, you saw that, like, I'll use this as an example. Maybe there's a chance that they were painting these roses because they had that much respect for the queen. I'm not trying to support in any way somebody doing wrongdoings if they don't apply this, if it isn't necessary. I'm just showing you how there's different perspectives. And as much as she could have looked at it like it was a disloyalty, and yes, it would have been nice if they had enough integrity to come up and be like, yo, we planted the wrong trees. Maybe also there was a level of fear in them. Maybe there was something they were working through. Maybe they didn't want to get in trouble. Or maybe they just didn't see the importance of it and they're like, what's the difference as long as the roses are red? What does it matter if they're really red? They're red, right? It looks the same. There's a lot of times like is like a man thinking too. I mean, I guess women can think like that too, but a lot of times when you have those guys that just check the box, they're not very like detailed or whatever. They're just like, the rose is red. Who cares? It looks the same at the end of the day. Who cares if it really grew red? As long as it's painted red, it looks the same. Either way, that doesn't matter. I'm just saying that there may not have been as much of a need for the reaction. So why did it trigger you so bad? But also, that there might have actually been a line of respect there. Instead of them just being like, well, F you and your white flowers. Now you have white flowers. Deal with it. That they actually went to the extent to paint them to try to make you happy. So do with this what you will. I'm not trying to make somebody's wrongs right or tell you to like lessen your standards for anybody else. I hope you get what I'm saying and following, that sometimes people have other perspectives, and instead of seeing what theirs was and really trying to see it, it seems like some of you might have jumped the gun and just went off and not really seeing maybe where that person was coming from, and that it might have had nothing to do with you, and that it might have just also been a moment for you to see your stuff and just speak your truth and remember who you are. So again, this might come back to you, you know? Maybe this just ends up being a learning moment for both of you where you come back and you're like, yo, I'm so sorry. Like, it just triggered me. But also to remember, like, who you are, because clearly you know, the Queen of Swords, or that's the Five of Swords. Why do I keep getting the Queen of Swords? You know, she's all up in her head. Five of Swords is very much it is a lack mentality as well. It's if anybody's going to lose here, it's going to be you. It's not going to be me. I am above you and I am better than you. So maybe, like I said, even if it started out, it's like the saying that comes to my mind is like the road to hell was paved with good intentions. And how I mean to say that is in the way of maybe you had a leg to stand on in the way that something was not up to standard or something was not done right or whatever. But the way it really triggered you and part of your shadow that it pulled out, just wasn't needed. Okay? I feel that for most people. But you will have a certain other number that they did see something, somebody either did something to you or you saw something going on and you came down and just boop that right out. It caused mental conflict. You pulled away, went through shadow work, and now you go into Emperor status and you remember who you are. Either way, whichever line you're going with or storyline, whatever, it does bring you more to Empress level. And I think the other person for most of you does too. Because I get a big forgiveness vibe. And it also kind of mirrors in your likely outcome. So I'm going to go off the story. I think you get what I'm saying. Or this part of this. How you see yourself. You have the Two of Wands. You have the Four of Wands, which is funny because your Three of Wands is what's in the center of it. You have the Page of Swords. And you have the Eight of Wands. You got a lot of Wands energy here. It's funny, too, that because, you know, in the center of the reading, you have the Three of Wands, like you're waiting. So you've already gotten past the Two of Wands, and she's looking at the Four of Wands. So you're waiting for this and this stability to come in. Even if it's just spiritually within yourself. Something may not be settled or right within yourself, and you're waiting for this to come. And you're trying to figure out what action to take. Now, keep in mind, Page of Swords is there might be a message too, so maybe there's conversations going on and about what action to take, or just a lot of passionate messages. And by passionate, I don't necessarily mean like sexual or intense or whatever. It may just be a lot of back and forth. You know what I mean? Like difference of opinions, difference of talking. I mean, this is like action and things that cause movements of energy. You have this, you know, the Seven of Wands, which is keeping things away from you and preparing. You have the Eight of Wands, which is all the action coming in. It's pretty much the war, it's the change, it's the shift, it's the whatever. So this could be talking, this could be action, this could be messages, this could be whatever. And then you have the Nine of Wands, where this already came through. It, you know, caused a little ruffle. You're a little wounded, but you're healing. Your will is still strong. You have another battle left within you. It's like spiritual perseverance type thing. So, you might be really looking for this sturdy foundation, and something's not lining up with it, or you saw something that was conflicting with it within you or within somebody else, and you're like, what the hell, you know, time is coming. But you're also a part of this because you have the devil. So I mean, devil could be outside of you too. It's just a lot of this vibe. A small part of you, this is going to be somebody who is truly toxic type stuff. But most of this is just something that I feel shows you something, and as well as them. But I think there's a lot of speaking and action going on right now within you and around you. And another thing that's really coming up is like, why is a lot of this foundation, or a lot of what you're waiting on, outside of you. Like maybe even seeing the benefit in it. Like, yes, you might be stable on your own, but are you complacent? Are you utilizing the shifting energies to your benefit to also make sure that you're still growing and building, but in a sturdy foundation kind of way? Are you missing these opportunities to grow yourself? And if you're not sturdy on your own, why are you looking to somebody else to build your sturdiness type of thing? Most Capricorns don't seem to have an issue for that. Some do. I mean, I guess everybody can, but at the very least, use this to your opportunity to see something about yourself, or your advantage, should I say, to see something about yourself. Because it's like you're really looking for this kind of like sturdy foundation, especially spiritually inside. But there's a lot of looking outside of you, which is funny because the way she's looking is towards like red roses or red flowers and not white flowers. And what she came in and did is she got mad at them because they were painting the white flowers red. So that's actually kind of interesting that right here, she's again looking towards the Four of Wands, which is towards the red flowers and not the white flowers. So, I mean, that is kind of an interesting thing to notice. I think you have a lot of expectations on what things look like, and I don't know if you're really seeing yourself on this. And not only that, but either A, you need to stop settling and go for what you really want. This is where, and the reason that you hear me going back and forth is to not go at you. This is literally, I feel, the contemplation that's going on inside of you. I think you're possibly going to start processing, like, okay, and maybe that's like why the mental screw here with the Five of Wands in your head. Like, all right, are my expectations too high? And I need to enjoy a little bit more of the simplicity of life, or just possibly create this myself if I'm not. Am I being codependent and relying too much on somebody else? Or am I settling? I think there's a lot of action. I think there's a lot of thinking. I think there's a lot of talking. With the Page of Swords, they're curious. They're young at heart. They have a lot of ideas. There's messages, but they're also just a page. They don't always know all. They lack some of the experience that the knight, the queen, or the king would have. So maybe there's a lack of knowledge or experience here while this communication's happening. And hopefully you use this to your advantage to know that maybe this can help you see, or even open your mind up in a certain way, and not in a way to settle, but like I said, I think there's things in your shadows you didn't see, but I think there's also a line of, or an idea of coming face to face, maybe with, you have to reevaluate your expectations and see whether they're realistic, or whether you're expecting others to complete them for you, or whether or not to settle and next type thing. I don't know. What's in your environment, though, is you do have the Ten of Pentacles. So obviously you have put a lot of time into this. She seems pretty comfy. I mean, she seems pretty comfy. You know, she's got all her cats around her. I mean, she's a little bit stifled. It's a little bit of a chair to be laying in. Like, she's not able to spread out. She's got her ancestors. This might be also something you got to clear out ancestral wise too. Maybe you're carrying stuff down that you learned from your parents or your grandparents, or what success looks like, what sorry, what true security looks like. You know, the Ten of Pentacles is very much about, yes, it's inheritance too, it's building up a lot, family building, family security. Like, she's fully comfortable, and not just herself comfortable, but like lineage comfortable. There's a lot here, it seems, about something. Not only are you comfortable, you're a little bit tight. So there's a little bit something that you're not truly able to sprawl out and be you and be in full comfort. But for the most part, you're comfortable. It is interesting that the rest of it is in color. Or maybe the pictures are just black and white because they're old. But either way, maybe there's old, outdated ways that you're doing things or that you're thinking. That is just time for you to like reassess or leave behind. Overall, though, pretty decent energy. Let's pull a card and see. I think there's a lot of complacency going on, either within you or around you. And I do get a little bit of a sense of projecting here, of trying to place your comfort on somebody else. But there is a level of expectations too, and your fears coming up and needing to relook at them and see, is this still substantial? Is this still needed? Am I carrying this fear from like my lineage forward? Like, why was that? Why do I want this? Why did I react that way? What did it bring up in me? Why was that so strong I could not separate my emotions from it and just see it? Why? Do I still want it? Do I want it to let me go or let it go? Is this me? Is this someone else? Am I carrying this from somebody else? Is this even mine? You know, that type of stuff. Tell me about the Ten of Pentacles. So Five of Pentacles, as I was saying, there's a little bit of lack there. There's something that you're carrying forward from your ancestral line. And yes, some of it might be yours, or you might have replicated it in this lifetime, but there's something I feel that you're carrying that's not yours. And it does come from your lineage that is not meant like for you to carry forward anymore. Don't put action into it. You're going to have to see some things and hopefully realize they don't serve you. Anyways, how your environment sees you is the Hanged Man. And then separated off from that, you have the Magician and the Lovers. So for one, these are all major arcana, all three of these. Which means you're really going through some like stuff, some spiritual stuff. But again, the clock. So there's like the third thing with a clock. Trying to see things from a new perspective. And then you have the Magician and the Lovers. So, I mean, maybe you're trying to manifest in a new way. Let me do something. Tell me about the Magician. Tell me about the Lovers. Yeah. So I think they see you just creating in the same... You're either trying to change your perspective so that you're not creating in the same way you always have, just in your mind and not really truly an emotional way. It's more... What's the word I'm looking for? Like dictatorship. Army, you know, general. Not soft, not compassionate. Very either mental, disconnected from your emotions, or it just in so much fear that it's... And I mean, let's be honest, like you guys are ruled by Saturn, right? So it's like that paternal energy. It's that like you'll be rewarded if you're doing good energy, but you'll be punished if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing type energy. It could be kind of masculine. It could be kind of punishing or drill sergeant like. It can be a little bombarding. And I think that's really what they're seeing you doing, because here's it again where she's ordering him away. Like, I don't know if his bakery items are not good enough. I'm not really sure. But it's like you're more... you're having an issue with compassion, maybe. And maybe that's where you go to in the future, where you realize this once you let this go, where the Empress is way more compassionate. I think you either will be going through this shift, or they see you going through a shift and changing your perspective on that, on your way of being and doing things. I think it's just really highlighting stuff within you. I mean, they obviously need to work on things too, but I think that you probably took something that you probably, for lack of better words, were in the right on, and completely just took out any leg you had to stand on type thing. In your hopes, you have the Chariot. So I think you really just want to be more cleared and to move forward from this. Not be so weighed down and heavy. I think it even bothers you to be like that. Because at the end of the day, when you see a Capricorn really in their highest form, or when they're more at ease, they're actually very goofy. They're funny. They're very lighthearted and even childish. And there's just a very nurturing side of them. But when they're in protective mode, or they have things like fears coming up, they can detach very easily and become very... and I just think you've been very chopping block type thing. In your fears, you have the Moon. So I don't think you want to not see anymore. I don't think you want to be confused anymore. I don't think that... Honestly, I think on one hand, I don't think you want to be in your feelings. But I think it's something that you have to address and you have to look at. Like I said, like now's the time. Like there's no more putting it off. Because it means there's things you're not seeing and that you're reacting in certain ways. Like, you have to address it. And it's the only way you're going to get to the Chariot, is by doing that. Like, nobody ever gets the Chariot. To me, the Chariot is like where you're like mind, body, soul in all alignment. It's where like your mind, you think the same things that you say and do. Like, they're all the same. It's not like, oh, I'm going to do this, or I'm thinking about doing this, and then your actions are completely different, right? They're all on the same page. And you've addressed your shadow at least enough to know that when it comes to pull you off what you're saying and thinking, you could redirect yourself and go forward because you see why it's triggering you and what it's doing. And that's how you're able to now move forward, because all of you is going in the same direction, not one or two of you in one way and the other one or two going in another way. Do you get what I'm saying? I hope so. So this whole like you waiting, like like no, this is you. And yes, this is probably someone else around you a little bit too, but this is really coming to show you something, I feel. I just really do. And in your likely outcome, you have the Six of Cups. So I think you really do look at a lot of things within yourself. I think you look at a lot of things in your past. I think you look at childhood expectations or what you thought you wanted or the way the world would be. But I also, again, like just like I got with the Empress card, I got a lot of like a forgiveness vibe or an I'm sorry vibe, like offering your apologies in the same way that in this one, you know, she's offering her apologies to the Empress. Again, I do think you're the Empress too. I think after all this, you become more Empress-like energy. But like this person looks confused even. Like they're like, what? You're sorry? Really? And she's like, yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. Like, you know, whatever. And so again, it's the same girl coming. Well, is it? Who's doing it? Well, they're both on it. Either way, it's apologies. It's more sweet. You know, the obstacles are being lifted away. Tell me about the Six of Cups. Yeah, it's like your Ace of Wands. You know, it's like new beginning. This could even be the fourth wand that brings you to the Four of Wands. But it's kind of like a little bit of an ending of the crappy way of thinking. There's healing, basically. So some of you are going to completely leave this alone. But some of you, I think there's going to be something that comes up. And you just have to address it within yourself. So yeah, goblins. It's about seeing stuff within your shadow. Knowing that everything that goes on around you is connected. It all has a meaning. What are you really wanting? What are you bringing in to contribute to what you're wanting and wanting to create? How are you contributing to what you're wanting to create? There is a little bit of a storm or tower vibe here. But you're safe going through this. It will, because you have Dragon's Lair, you do want to approach all of this with a little bit of caution and respect, of course, but you are protected going through it. Dragons are very much associated to underworld, shadow work also as well. And they are going to show you things about yourself when you go in there and deal with all of that. But let's face it, at the same time, it's a little exciting. And it shows you like that you're stronger. It shows you things about yourself. And it really initiates a type of spark within yourself. And then you go to coming to life. And then you have Talisman, where you really look at where are you going. What did I say about this? So I'll just read this. Wisdom allows you to recognize traps on the road and familiar patterns that you want to avoid. It also enables you to quickly gather information where you are on your journey. It helps you recognize your allies and know how to find the best routes along the way. Now you are at a good place where you know the right things to do and the best choices to make. You really can't commit a mistake. Whatever your inquiry, great fortune awaits you, for you have the wisdom to arrive at the right decision. You've learned your lessons and earned the right to your success. So it's kind of like you go through a little learning curve, or like you hopped on the roller coaster of a life lesson type thing. I don't know. where it's showing you something about your shadow. It's showing you something about yourself. And yes, all of this is connected. It's meant to be to show you like your field of dreams. Like, what are you thinking of? What are you dreaming? What are your expectations? What are you wanting? Are they realistic? Are they not realistic? Are they yours? Are they not yours? What, is it time to change? Are you bringing in people or things that build upon that? Are you expecting them to do the work? Are you contributing and doing that work? Just looking at all of that. And going into you have to go in the shadow a lot of times to do that, to see that stuff and be realistic, to see those things. How are you going to know whether they're really you if you're not going within to see? How are you going to know what you really want if you don't really know who the heck you are? So I'm just saying. And this is where you're going to start to come to life because A, you're going to see things about yourself, and B, a lot of times when people start to take the initiative to really focus on themselves, it sparks something within themselves. And now, like this, I really get a lot of the vibe of like the talisman. Like she's able to navigate life now. She's able to see what will help her go this way, what's going to hinder going the way she wants to go. She's going to see those patterns popping up. She's going to see all that stuff and know how to navigate it. It's not going to be so much in her shadow, or it's not going to create such a reaction like whatever went on up here, because you're going to see a lot tied to that. You're not going to see all of it. All her life, it's like an onion. It's every now and then you peel off a layer. But you're going to see enough and get to a point where you can start to navigate those things instead of just reacting and losing control. I mean, sometimes you need to lose control, but you get what I'm saying. So advice for you, the Oracle cards, which by the way, this is all showing very much in your head. You have 8 of Swords, 10 of Swords, Justice underneath that, 4 of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles. There's a lot here of really just being stuck and going back and forth that you're going to need to work out and navigate. So your first one, you have Storm. So here it is. Here it comes. Right. This is like creativity in a way, like finding who you are. Find a way to get this expressed and out of you, whether you write in a journal, whether you talk to somebody, whether you create art, whatever it is, find a way to work through this and get this stuff out of you. This writing is a lot of time tapping into you. Channel write a story, journal, blog, make a video, go see a therapist, paint a picture, write a picture. I don't know. That doesn't even make sense. You get what I'm saying? And then write order. Put things in order that need to be in order. Once you see this now and you start to reflect on the storm, stuff's coming up, writes it down. It helps you reflect. It helps you tap into you. Remove what needs to be removed. Bring in what needs to be brought in. Organize your life that now goes to this new part of yourself that you're seeing. Because of this, you're going to have a frequency shift. This is for your benefit. It's aligning you more to your higher self, divinity, like it's coming in to help you out. And again, you have shifting. So this more than likely is divinely orchestrated or astrologically influenced or whatever. It's meant to be for you to see it. So try not to grip on so hard, like as the 4 of Pentacles, which is, wasn't it right under Justice? Yeah, you have 4 of Pentacles right under Justice. Try not to grip on so hard and just see this. Try not to go into your ego. Try not to go into too much of fear base. That might also be why what's crossing you is the devil. Try to just observe it like a movie. Just see your emotions. Ask what they're showing you. Is it an illusion? Is it realistic? What is it showing? Where's it coming from? Do you want to keep it? Do you not? If you don't even have control over that yet, then just watch it, observe it, learn from it, and let it go. Release control, basically. Because this is a lot of shadow. It's like a little phase of shadow that you're being. guided too. So let's pull a shamanic oracle card and then we'll be done. So I hope you guys perceive this in a positive way. Most of the time you guys do, but sometimes I get in trouble by Capricorns. But either way, I think this is good for you. Because also you have to remember that your ruling planet right now is sitting in Aquarius. So it's very much going to show you things that you haven't seen. And I think that's a lot of what this is. Like, I think I might even call it that, like, seeing what you haven't seen before, or I don't know. Like, things become illuminated, or I don't know. Honestly, I don't. But you're going to see things now. I mean, your home planet is in Aquarius, which is like higher knowledge. Like, I mean, that's like one of the things it's about, but it's evolution. You know what I mean? Like, you're being called to see and rise. And you can't ignore this, whatever this stuff is about yourself anymore. What advice do you have for Capricorn? April, May. So you have Sweat Lodge in the heart of the sky. And I think, without reading these, the vibes I get from it, I think they're pretty much going to confirm what I just said. Because this to me has a lot of purging energy. And this to me has a lot of now being aligned with your soul path, soul mission. It has like the star, honestly, energy. So, which is Aquarius, which is what I was kind of just saying. But, so, the Sweat Lodge. This is a time to journey inward into the dark and hidden places of your soul to reconnect with the ancient earth wisdom. You can also create a sacred and intimate space in the dark by lighting a candle. Observe what emerges and, without judging it, invite it to bring you its gifts. Yeah, because a lot of times your gifts lie in your shadow, and the reason you don't know it is because you're not willing to walk through that valley, you know? You are being offered an opportunity to shed and heal from the aspects of your life you have outgrown. Do not worry that you will be consumed by the process. Absolutely. 24. Heart of the sky. Brings you a sacred reminder. You are a channel for the original energy of creation. Become the paintbrush, the canvas, and the artist, all guided by the heart of the sky. Set your intention ethically and clearly and allow the universe to take care of the details. I'm going to read the rest of this because it might matter. The heart of the sky is the love force that made all creation possible. This same force is present when you create with originality, when you bring formlessness to form or inspired ideas to expression. This primeval force does not know good or bad. It is up to us to provide clear intention that will guide it to manifest. The heart of sky helps us call in beauty from the invisible world and birth it in the world of matter. So manifesting along your path. You will feel responsible for everything and everyone. This is more like the shadow part of it, like really learning. You will feel responsible for everything and everyone. Perhaps you think that you have to do it all alone. This takes you into a dark hole where you lose trust in the natural order of the cosmos. Shed your lofty sense of duty and recognize that this is a false prison of your own making. You can open the door and set yourself free in an instant. But either way, the energy of a lot of this is shedding, purging. And this, to me, feels like soul path alignment. Like, there's a lot going on in her third eye area. It almost looks like an owl, but I don't think it is. It may be a butterfly. But either way, this has a lot of, like, a star card vibe. Like I said, which matches Aquarius because your ruling planet is now in Aquarius. So there's some illumination and realizations that you're going to be having, raising a frequency, and it's just time. Like, you really can't ignore it anymore or delay it anymore of whatever's in your shadow you haven't been seeing or whatever you've been fearing and trying to grip onto. Okay? I love you guys. I hope this helped. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. For donation information, look in the description box below. Service information, description box below, unless it's shamanic services, illuminations, soul retrieval, destiny retrieval, shadow contracts, attachments, all that type of stuff. Email me about those because I haven't put them in my description box yet. And please like and comment on the videos. It's a great way, reciprocity of energy, giving back, showing thanks, sharing the love. And like, share, or subscribe. Hit the bell. Make sure you're subscribed even if you thought you were, because it's been taken away. Okay? I love you guys. Keep your head up, and I'll be seeing and talking to you soon. Bye.